Ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for tuning in to another episode of Generational Wrestling Podcast. As always, is yours truly, the 28-year-old piece of gold, the franchise, aka the showstopper, better known as the GOW's resident tribal chief. And with me, as always, I got my tag team partner, my brother, my family. He is the flyest in the room, Mr. 1, 2, 3. Pin that ass down, K Breezy, aka EC's resident Isaac Hayes, King Too Cold in the building, bro. What's going on?
Man, what's good? What's good, man? Y'all know what it is, man. It's WrestleMania week. We told y'all, man, we gonna come with y'all with a little something, and we're gonna come back with part two of the best moments and matches of WrestleMania's past. We're gonna lead up all the way up until what was it, 37 last year's, because 38 this year, right? Yeah, no,
Yes,
this year's 30,
sir.
yeah, 30 this year. So we're gonna kick things off, man, with 2003 WrestleMania 19. Brock Lesnar versus Kurt Angle. First and foremost, great match. All right, it definitely did what it was supposed to do. The build up was good, so it was everything that it needed to be. The one, I guess you could say, the one thing that really was the big story was the botch moonsault that Brock attempted, but
Yeah.
ended up crashing down hard
No,
on
no,
his
the shooting
head.
star press.
Shooting star press. I'm sorry. Yeah, the shooting star press. I'm sorry, the shooting star press. That he came down crashing on his head, but not bad enough to where he couldn't finish the match. Like that was like the only thing. Like, cause everything that they were doing was so impactful, and it had the crowd going, and it was just like that one moment at the end. It's like, yeah, but it is what it is. It still was a great match. Honestly, looking back through this WrestleMania, I mean, this is when you had the Undertaker going up against the Big Show and A-Train. His WrestleMania run really wasn't all that great. It had some hits and misses until they had that streak of just constant, WrestleMania bangers, and we gonna get into that today. Then of course, but you had Trish beat Victoria and Jazz for the women's championship, so that was pretty cool. You had the world's greatest tag team. Charlie Haas
Yeah.
beat Los Guerreros and Benoit and Arrow and Rhino. I'm sorry, Benoit and Rhino. You had Shawn Michaels who beat Jericho. I mean, like, you had a good couple of matches. The Rock finally beat Steve Austin at WrestleMania. This was the finale of their trilogy of WrestleMania matches that they will put on. And again, for me, I will still say 17 was better. 18 was or 19. This one was good, and then the first one it was good, but it was more of a mid to me. If I
Mhm.
if I got to rank them, if I got to look at it, but uh, that was most notable highlight because that was Austin's last match. That was also a big moment for this WrestleMania. So definitely, I would definitely say the Brock and Kurt Angle was definitely uh, it had moment and match. I mean, that's a hell of a moment to have, but it was both. And I would say to some degree, The Rock and Austin, that whole history and storyline and what that was, that definitely had a huge significance because that was the last we were seeing the Rattlesnake. That was his last match, and it was against one of his archer nemesis, The Rock. And this was a heel Rock, so this was the Hollywood Rock. So it was what it was. But franchise, man, give me your thoughts on this, man.
Yeah. I mean, you already pretty much summed it up. The match and the moment of the night was, of course, Brock Lesnar, the Beast getting that win over Kurt Angle after that horrific injury that he suffered. Then, of course, like you said, The Rock beating Austin going out on his back, before he left, as it's customary to do in WWE. And then I would say an honorable mention, and the only reason I say honorable mention is because when you look
Mhm.
at the storyline leading into this match, and then you look back on his career, Booker T, man. Many people, a lot of people, the general consensus is that Booker
Mhm.
T actually should have came out and won this match, and this should have been his first official WWE World Heavyweight title reign. But
He should have had
politics.
two of them. He should have had two of them. He should have been an 8-time or 7-time champion.
Yeah,
Uh,
so the
yeah.
historical significance of this alone, just how we look back at it now, I get at an honorable mention. But match and moment, Brock Lesnar, Kurt Angle, all day.
Oh yeah, most definitely, most definitely. All right, man. We're gonna move on to, quite frankly, I think the second best WrestleMania. some people are saying this may be the best WrestleMania. Of course, this is the this is the last, no, not the last great one because they were in the next one, but here we got Chris Benoit who had won the Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
He got the opportunity to fight Triple H, but at the same time, Triple H and Shawn Michaels was having a rivalry. So Shawn Michaels took it upon himself to super kick Benoit and to sign his name to the contract. So then that made it a triple threat somehow, some way. Legally, don't
Right.
ask me how that went, but they did it, and it ended up being a great match because you got to see Benoit at his best. You got to see Shawn Michaels, like I say, he was in God mode. You got to see Triple
Right.
H be the game. So that was really and they went at it, and it was a great match. But I feel like for this WrestleMania, it's not just this match. I feel like Kurt Angle versus Eddie Guerrero for the WWE Championship was a great match, and Eddie Guerrero's character and just the way he gives you the wrestling, but then also gives you the line, the cheat, and the steal, all wrapped together so beautifully. And Kurt Angle being the methodical, no, the wrestling machine that we know him to be. And I mean, this was just a great match for one-on-one match. I feel like they were both kind of tied because Eddie Guerrero and Benoit are both people that folks have watched. We wanted to see them come up. We wanted to see this type of moment for them. And to see Eddie beat Brock Lesnar at No Way Out, that was cool. Yeah, Goldberg helped, but we understood what that was because Goldberg cost Brock cost Goldberg the Royal Rumble. So he came in and eliminated him or helped him get eliminated. But to see Eddie win against Kurt Angle and retain the WWE Championship, to see Chris Benoit win the World Heavyweight Championship and make Triple H tap out and beat Shawn Michaels, to see Eddie and Chris Benoit standing in the ring as the World WWE and World Heavyweight Champions, the main champions, that was so awesome, man, because those were the type of guys at that point in time that people wanted to see. We wanted to see those guys because we knew their wrestling was good. Yeah, Eddie was a character, but Eddie could wrestle. That's the whole thing. You can always rely on Eddie to go out there and give you a good match with anybody or try to make somebody look good. So I know there was a lot of other stuff that happened on this show, but those two matches for me, and you can say I'm being a little biased, but I'm just that much of a fan of those two. Yeah, I understand what happened with Chris, but as a wrestler, as a wrestler, huge Chris Benoit Rabbit Wolverine fan, and I'm so glad and was honored to see him win that championship on the grandest stage and to submit himself as one of the best because he was one of the best. Franchise, what's your thoughts, man?
Yeah. You got that. Um, you also had, of course, I believe this is the year Brock left, and you had him and Goldberg.
Which was
The infamous,
trash.
yeah, the infamous match they had in which they both Goldberg and Brock clearly gave no fucks. The crowd clearly could see that, and they definitely let
Right.
their opinions be known throughout the night. Of course, you had John Cena defeat the Big Show, which I believe was his first WWE Championship, I
Yep.
believe,
United
at
States
the time.
Championship.
Yeah,
Yep.
but to go back to what you said, man, the moment of the night, definitely a match of the night. I'm gonna give it to Chris Benoit, but then again, at the same time, you had moments in the match with Eddie and Ray. I mean, excuse me, Eddie and Kurt, where
Eddie and
Kurt had
Kurt.
an ankle lock on, and then Eddie slipped his foot out the boot, and just stuff like that. Eddie like, got your nose, dude.
Beautiful. It was just so. It was just so. That shit was just so awesome. I think I'm gonna watch that one. I'm gonna watch that one. When we finish with this, man. But man, yo, that was. But I get what you're saying. But yeah, that was great.
And then the thing was too, to see Eddie and Chris, two of the smaller guys, and then coming from where they came from in WCW,
Yeah.
ECW, and to see them being the two, like you said, the two main guys. And then it was cool because you see Chris Benoit, he winning, he's celebrating. You got, everybody going nuts. You don't even see Eddie until Chris Benoit turns around. And then that
Right.
moment where they kind of look at each other.
All the
And you got
confetti
Chris
coming
Benoit.
down. Yeah.
Yeah, you got Chris Benoit. That's toothless aggression. That's the rabbit Wolverine. He don't show emotion. And to see him and Eddie hug each other and embrace and cry and like, yo, you can tell like, hey, bro, we did it. Because if it was one person that was closer to Eddie than Rey Mysterio, it was Chris Benoit. And like you said, Eddie's my
Both
favorite
of
of
them,
all
yeah.
time, but Chris Benoit's on that list too, regardless as a wrestler, yes. But yeah, man, hey, dude, full of moments, full of moments. But this one was it.
Yeah, no, one's definitely. Like I said, John Cena won the United States Championship. Rob Van Dam and Booker T, they won the world, or they retained the World Heavyweight Championships, Tag Team Championships. Uh, and you had a couple of other matches. Of course, like you said, we had the Goldberg and Brock, but we know what that match was, and it
Yep.
damn sure wasn't one of the best. It was most dudded, if anything. Well, excuse me. And then other than that, man, Undertaker beat Kane, at WrestleMania. But we're getting close to the streak of the Undertaker's great matches at WrestleMania. But with that, let's go ahead and move on, man, to WrestleMania 21, man. Yo, uh, where we at? 21. Look here, man.
Mm-hmm.
You got. Oh no, I lost my place. Oh no, okay, I lost too far now. Triple H going up against Batista for the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, obviously, yeah, this is also where John Cena won against Bradshaw, but
Yep.
it was impactful because people at this time, John Cena was over, and people wanted to see John Cena win. But I feel like the Batista versus Triple H was the more meaningful match because of the ties of evolution and just the way that that whole thing kind of blew up once Randy had won the World Heavyweight Championship, and then
Yeah.
they had kicked him out, and then after that
Yep.
happened, you just started seeing the descent going further and further as the year went. So
Right.
that match definitely had the best main event, and that was the better match for me. You had where am I at? You oh yeah, no, I'm on the wrong page. There we go. You had what, Rey Mysterio. Oh, this was when Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero, they were the tag team champions.
First ever
So
tag team champions. Yeah.
right, to go head 1-on-1, which was a great match. Like, not gonna lie, that was a great match to watch. And of course, you had the first ever Money in the Bank ladder match. You can't
Mm-hmm.
disregard that as like one of the best
Mm-hmm.
matches for this pay per view, because
Yeah.
that in itself was insane, especially Shelton Benjamin and his and what he did. So you could really say that's really the moment, or you could say maybe the match for this WrestleMania. I think you could say that for this one because you had that Money in the Bank was such like the ladder match and like the TLC, it had such an impact because of the reward for winning it. You got a
Right.
title shot for a whole year to fight whatever champion whenever you want to, and you can't really disregard that. Undertaker went up and beat Randy Orton.
Yep.
You also had Eugene, who was attacked by Muhammad Assad, but then Hulk Hogan came out once again. What's going on? Who we got there? What's his name, man?
We
We
all
all
won. We all win. What's going on, baby?
okay. I couldn't see what is in the middle. What's going on with you, man? Welcome to the show, man. Appreciate you. And what it was, Trish beat Christy Hemme. Oh, that was really nothing. Kurt Angle and Shawn Michaels. Okay, damn, I forgot about that one. Oh, I forgot about that one. Yeah, I forgot about WrestleMania. I forgot about that one. I don't know why I thought that was 22. Oh, bro, Kurt Angle, Shawn Michaels. Did
Mm-hmm.
you man, bro? That was a great ass match.
It
That
was.
was the match of the night. Money in the Bank was Money in the Bank, but just a wrestling match, that was the match of the night.
So this is the order. I got four matches, and this is my order. You got Kurt Angle and Shawn Michaels. That's my number one match of the night. I got Rey Mysterio and Eddie is number two. I have Triple H and Batista as three. Cena
Yeah,
versus
Money in the
JBL
Bank.
is 4. And I got to put Randy Orton and Undertaker in there because this is when you had a super young Randy Orton, but this is when him and Undertaker, they had a great storyline. Like that build was, dude,
Yeah,
WWE. You talk about building a storyline with these two,
yeah,
and bro, Undertaker and Randy killed it. Oh no, all their segments, just the heinous shit that Randy was doing, but then the mind games. So you got to remember, I believe this is when Undertaker just got back from being buried alive. I
yeah.
believe
No, Set on Fire.
set on
That's what it
fire.
was.
Okay,
That's when it Set on Fire.
and so and then I believe before this, at the time we had the American Badass Undertaker. So this one Undertaker was going back to being that dead man gimmick. So dude,
No,
I
he was
mean,
dead man by this time.
what was he dead man already?
He was
Okay,
dead. He was yeah
I'm kind
yeah.
of getting my
He
years.
he had transitioned when he had fought Kane. He had transitioned back to the dead man because remember he Kane buried him. He buried him alive, and then so that brought back the Undertaker.
Right. And then yeah, but no, definitely, I would say match of the night, definitely Kurt Angle, Shawn Michaels. Definitely, you got two of the greatest. You got Kurt Angle, probably one of the greatest technical wrestlers to ever lace up a pair of boots, and then you got Shawn Michaels just overall. I mean, the guy could grapple, he could fight, he could sell. The guy can go high flying when he needed to. Overall, Shawn Michaels is just the GOAT. So when I look at, if I'm going strictly based on match, I'm gonna give it to Shawn Michaels and Kurt Angle, but then following that, of course, I got to give it to Ray and Eddie.
All right, over the Money in the Bank. Over the
Okay,
first Money in the
oh,
Bank.
hey, I'm talking strictly wrestling. I'm talking strictly
Oh,
wrestling. If we're talking strictly wrestling, I'm gonna give it to Ray and Eddie. Now we're talking most entertaining match. I'm gonna still give it
okay.
to Kurt and Shawn first, and I give Money in the Bank second.
Okay, so that's okay. So that franchise laid it out. All right, bet. That's
What up, Earl?
Shawn Michaels and Kurt Angle, man. What's up, Earl, man? What's up, fellas? Can I get a props for call? What do you say? Can
Oh,
I get a
sorry,
props
sorry,
for
sorry. I ain't mean to hit that.
calling out Lashley versus Almost for 3 months ago?
You
Hey,
did.
salute to the
You
Earl.
did.
Hey, salute to the booth. Salute to the man. Salute to the man. He called it. He got it. Get him in his due. All right, bro. WrestleMania 22.
Yes, sir. Chicago.
John Cena versus Triple H in a
Yeah.
submission. Oh well, no, it was by submission. One in the submission match. Rey Mysterio versus Kurt Angle and Randy Orton.
Mm-hmm.
Shawn Michaels versus Vince McMahon. And Mickey James versus Trish Stratus.
Yeah.
Dude, I haven't even. Wait a minute. Oh, and this was another Money in the Bank match, of course. Uh, bro, I'm a
I'll tell
bit
you right now.
torn.
I already got my top two right now.
For me, my pick is Ray, and like because just Ray's whole storyline, he won the Royal Rumble. Like, if anything, that was the one match that had the most implications of impact because no one thought Ray would win the Royal Rumble, and for him to last as long as he did, and then won it, and then to go to WrestleMania, not only to fight Kurt Angle, but to fight Kurt Angle and Randy Orton in a triple threat match. Like, dude, the odds are really against you, and for him to
Mm-hmm.
come out the way he did and for people to go bananas for Rey Mysterio winning his first ever world heavyweight championship ever. Like
Yeah.
that was awesome as hell, man. So and it was also, in the response that Eddie had just passed, and so every not just passing, but he had passed, round before the Royal Rumble, but um just that whole impact of that because everybody was riding with him. Like everybody wanted Ray to win. Like it was all about Ray. So for me, I feel like that's the moment for this WrestleMania. I think a lot of people would say John Cena beating Triple H because you would think Cena beating Triple H put him in the true number one of being the man. Because when
Mm-hmm.
because Triple H was the guy, so it was like I get that. I can't disregard Mickey James versus Trish. That was a really great match. I can't. Sean versus Vince wasn't a great match. It was just it was just how the match went and what happened to Vince. Uh, but what do you think, man? Give it to him, man. Give it to the straight.
Hey man, you know me, I'm a straight shooter. All right, so match of the night, match of the night. I give no, I would give Ray moment of the night. I give Ray moment of the night. I would say no, rephrase. I give Ray match of the night. I give moment of the night to Edge and Mick Foley. That dude, that
Oh
hardcore
yeah,
match they had where Edge went face first through the flaming
yeah, that
table and he
was
got a
yeah,
leader
yeah. That was the moment. That was the moment.
and you know you got the barbed wire and bro like and this is like really the last great bit of Mick Foley we've seen before he kind of just, went about his
Yeah,
business. And this was Edge was really in this, rated R superstar bag. This was really at the height of his sadisticness. So to see them come out of that, and like you said, of course, Rey Mysterio, the storyline there, and then of course Mickey James. I mean, come on, now you're going up against the GOAT, man, Trish Stratus, and you're still a rookie at this point, but they told the story so well. Mickey, in ring wise, one of the best workers you're gonna see. And yeah, just that whole moment was cool too, because you had this crazy psychotic fan who's living out her childhood dream against her crush and idol. So you had a lot going on, but I will say, man, for everything that is worth, moment of the night. Match of the night definitely goes to Ray and his win. I wish his title reign would have lasted a little bit longer, but hey, we'll take what we can get, right?
All right, for sure, and most definitely, I agree with you. Moment was definitely the ending of the Edge versus Mick Foley hardcore match with the Fire of Doom spear. With that being said, man, that's WrestleMania 22. We're gonna move on to WrestleMania 23, bro. Look here, okay, 23. Not a bad WrestleMania. Not great, but not bad. A couple of most definitely a couple of bright spots. So Money in the
Oh,
Bank was
I remember this one like yesterday. Damn.
yeah, Money in the Bank was cool. It was a nice little match. It had a couple of people you definitely wanted to see in it, but Mr. Kennedy ended up getting it. It's just sad we didn't get to see that develop into what it could be or what it could have been.
Bro.
Like just that whole setup of him getting the Money in the Bank and then coming, they were going to use him to say he was an illegitimate son of Vince McMahon, like
That's
that.
mad.
Like I wanted to see how that was going to play out with Shane and Stephanie, like because obviously you were going to get a Shane versus Kennedy match, but he had the Money in the Bank too, so it's like, dude, you're destined to like, yo, like, and it's not like Mr. People didn't like Mr. Kennedy's gimmick. Was he a great wrestler? I feel like he was a great worker. He wasn't too crazy in the ring, but he can do enough in the ring. But the dude he had showmanship, man. I don't know why, but that micro buffer aggressive
coming down from the
type,
top.
right, with the mic, man, that I don't know, man. Just it was just something about that, man. Just hailing from Green Bay,
Hey,
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. He'd be like,
like,
Kennedy. And then he'll wait.
And then you get the audience, right? And that's like, I don't know, man. Like it works. It just works. So it was disappointing. Like the match wasn't really all that great, but it was disappointing what happened to him afterwards. Then what happened next, man? Oh, we got for me now the two matches of the night, hands down. I mean, we had the ECW originals beat the New Blood, the Pope, who we just interviewed, Elijah Burke, Kevin Thorne, Marcus Carvarn, and Matt Striker. We had the hair versus hair match, Bobby Lashley beating Omega, not Omega, Umaga. Lashley beat Umaga with Austin as the special guest referee or the enforcer. I can't remember which one he was. And then we had the Lumberjills match, but that was what it was. The World Heavyweight Championship match, Undertaker versus Batista.
Yeah, that's when
John
we
Cena.
Taker going airborne.
John Cena versus Shawn Michaels for the WWE Championship, bro. Yeah. For me, this WrestleMania, those are the two matches that I remember the most. Like, like there's nothing else about this card. Like, there's nothing else about this card. You can just go with that match and the Undertaker Batista match because that was a great match in itself. They had a brutal ass rivalry. They were beating the hell out of each other. That ended up being a Hell in a Cell later on, a few months down the line. But that John Cena, I'm not gonna just lie, man. Shawn Michaels made people believe John Cena was really that great in the damn ring.
Yeah.
Like he really not to say that John Cena couldn't, like he won't put in the work, to show up. We know he'll do that. That's why he has the respect that he has. But we know he's not as technical as he was for this match. He pulled a
Right.
lot of tricks out just for Shawn Michaels, and it just went. They told such a beautiful story. They wrestled the same damn match again the next night on Raw, like an
Right.
hour of great wrestling. Like you can kind of put that one maybe a little bit ahead, but you can't disregard what Undertaker versus Batista was. Uh, for the World Heavyweight Championship and just their rivalry and what they were doing. Like that, if anything, those were the two matches any and everybody was waiting on the most.
No, I actually have no rebuttal for that one. I mean, looking at the card, them are the other two matches I'm going with as well.
All right, bet. All right, so now that was okay. Make sure we keep up here. Lose my place. All right, man. So we going to wrestle. What is this? WrestleMania 24. 24. WrestleMania 24. Bruh. You want to take this one? I talk enough, man. You want to take this one?
No, man, I got you.
All
All
right,
right,
go
man.
ahead, man.
For sure, man. You know, bro, we chilling.
Right. I said, man, I talking enough. I did that. Yeah, I'm talking enough. Go ahead, man.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, that's how you know, man. My boy said he tired of talking. He tired of talking. I got you. But no, all
I
right.
got
So
enough. We still got a lot to go through. I still got plenty to say. We good. Let's go.
All right, man. So we had this one, dude. I can already tell you right now. Moment of the night before I even read the rest of it was definitely the retirement match for Flair, man. Shawn Michaels versus Ric Flair. Of course, you know they had an epic moment in that one with the "I love you." Of course, you got Randy Orton defeating both Triple H and John Cena. You got of course, Floyd Mayweather breaking Big Show nose. I mean, for a moment, throw that out there. And then you got the World Heavyweight Championship again. Edge is in his rated R superstar bag against the big dog, the dead man, the Undertaker, bro. Okay, so look, you got Taker versus Edge, right? You got Flair versus Michaels. You know, truly an end of an era when you think about it. I mean, and then of course, like I said earlier, dude,
Orton
man,
versus
oh my god, those are my two. Oh, excuse me. And then you got Randy Orton defeating Triple H and John Cena. Yo, if you had to choose one, you can't choose all three because these three matches had so much significance, so much importance, and so many moments between the three. If you had to choose one, I'm gonna put you on the spot. What is your WrestleMania defining moment and match in this card? Only one.
Excuse me. Well, I'm gonna add to the pressure even more because I'm gonna throw the Money in the Bank match in there because the first one, the CM Punk one, that was really a good match. Like it had kind of been a dud for the last couple of WrestleManias, but it kind of picked itself back up in this one, especially with Shelton Benjamin and John Morrison going bananas and doing crazy off the wall stuff. So, definitely got to give that some love. But if I have to pick a match out of that match, the retirement match, the WWE and the World Heavyweight Championship match, bro, all honestly, I'm going Shawn Michaels and Ric Flair because even
Me too.
with knowing the writing on the wall, you put the man in the Hall of Fame the night before. All right, you just put Ric Flair in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, the writing is on the wall. We all know what's finna happen here, but it didn't matter because we still sat there. We still watched it. We still almost cried like a baby. We were it was the end of something great. It was the end of Ric Flair, and it needed to be. Let's not kid ourselves. It needed to be, but
Right.
it was done in such a way where you built it up to Shawn Michaels being that guy, but Rick being on this run because Vince telling him if he ever lose, he'll have to retire and he'll fire him. So he didn't want to. He didn't just want to lose any old way. He want to lose on the grandest stage of them all, and
Right.
you have two of the greatest storytellers and characters in the wrestling business give us a match that, quite frankly, man, it left you feeling like you felt it. You knew what it was, but you still felt it. And if I gotta pick a moment, oh yeah, most definitely, without a doubt, it's Ric Flair versus Shawn Michaels.
All right, man. Next up, this is where things again, man. WrestleMania just, you know,
It was coming
despite the
back.
card, man, you just had
It
a
was
few matches that's really hard to choose from. All right, so then you got Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy. They had Extreme Rules match. Man ended up winning that one. But then you had the Undertaker beating Shawn Michaels, right? You got the IC
that's the
Championship. You
match.
got Rey Mysterio versus JBL, and that whole storyline leading up to that was super crazy. I don't even know if we could have got away with that in today's climate. And then, of course, you got Triple H,
The Border
winning.
Patrol.
Man, are you going to make people dunks? It's like, oh my god.
Oh,
And then you got
oh
the World
shit.
Heavyweight Championship match with John Cena defeating Edge and the Big Show, and then you got the WWE Championship with Triple H and Randy Orton. I'm going to say my match of the night again. Call me biased. It is what it is. I got to say my match of the night was definitely Undertaker and Michaels. I would probably say my second match of the night would be John Cena. Excuse me, not John Cena. Ooh, no, not
Triple
that
H
one.
and Orton.
Triple H versus Randy Orton. That'd be my second match. But once again, man, taking top spot is of course that boy HB Shizzle and the dead man himself. Your thoughts, too cold.
I mean, for me, like you were just born, so you weren't into it. But when I saw it, bruh, it was bananas. For let's see that I think that was they might have wrestled maybe once or twice, or maybe like two or three more, like maybe a few more times after that Hell in a Cell match. But Shawn Michaels was pretty much on his way out. Undertaker was doing other stuff, and they hadn't really wrestled in that what about 20 something. That by that time it was almost 20 years, I think it was. So to see to remember that first match and how good it was, and just and the story and everything built to that, but then the appearance of Kane and whatnot, like all of that, and then to see these two, to see Shawn Michaels in God mode, to see the Undertaker in Hell and Brimstone mode, like he that's Hell and which kind of plays on that plays on that for the next year, but just to see these two at the age that they were at
Mm-hmm.
being as good as they were,
Right.
and to still put and to know the history between these two, to know that there's enough history where if the Undertaker really wanted to walk up and just knock Shawn Michaels out, Shawn Michaels would not have a problem with it. He would allow
Yeah.
it and accept it. Like that's where the heat and how they felt about each other, and like it was, so it really was something when this was like, this is the match. This is what you putting together. Ooh, all this time. Okay, we're gonna see how for WrestleMania,
Right.
it's Shawn Michaels. It's Mr. WrestleMania. This is Mr. WrestleMania fighting the man who's undefeated at WrestleMania. I, I, bro, I think I picked Shawn Michaels. I think I was going with Shawn Michaels to win. Like I didn't want to see the Undertaker to lose, but it's like, bro, it's Shawn Michaels. I can see him winning this. I can see him breaking the Undertaker streak. But um, best match for me. That's the match that's the number one match.
All right. So then next year's WrestleMania, we got Rey Mysterio beating CM Punk. Then, of course, you got Vince McMahon losing to Bret Hart in the No Holds Barred match. But then you get Jericho beating Edge for the World Heavyweight Championship. You get John Cena beating the Animal Batista for the WWE Championship. And then you get a no count out, no DQ retirement match. Now, a few years before, we had, what I'm saying, Shawn Michaels putting good old Ric Flair out to pasture. And now it seems like a few years later, we run it back, Dead Man versus
Literally a couple of years.
Shawn Michaels. We got retirement versus the streak. Too cold, my man. uh, Again,
Let's not kid ourselves, okay? Let's just not kid ourselves. Let's just go ahead and
yeah,
start talking about it, man. Go ahead, man.
you got light versus dark, right? You got the dead man coming out. You got Shawn Michaels coming out in his holy white. You got that
He's
good
in
old
God mode. He's in
you
God
got that
mode.
good old good versus evil, right?
Yeah.
And man, oh man, what an emotional match this was. John Cena versus Batista was good. Jericho
Yeah.
beating Edge, can't sleep on that. But bro, this, oh my God, you got the streak versus the retirement. Like, it's Shawn Michaels. Is this really it? Is it really, really over? Or has Undertaker finally met his match? Too cold. 1, 2, 3. It's over. What was running through your mind after just seeing Ric Flair retire and now seeing Shawn Michaels, a guy who dominated the 90s, a guy who had so many firsts, a guy who lost his smile, then came back and probably had the best 8 years of his life after that as a wrestler, and to go out against the dead man, the Undertaker, one of the greatest to ever do it him damn self. What was your thoughts on that, man?
He could have went another 2 years. I'm being a greedy fan. I'll say it. I am being a greedy fan. I could have watched Shawn Michaels wrestle another 2 years. And at that time, and at that point, what is this? 2010. So yeah, this is the Shield and Shawn and Seth Rollins and them coming out. Yeah. Another 2 years with that group of people that was coming in. Oh yeah. He could have wrestled another 2 years. I wouldn't have minded, but this was such a perfect ending to the history and to the fact that Shawn Michaels is so confident in how good he is that he can beat anybody, that he knew he could beat the Undertaker, in which he came close to beating the Undertaker, that he lost his mind and he did the ultimate sin and he came in and cost the Undertaker his championship. Undertaker denied him and denied him and denied him. And every time Shawn Michaels asked, he would deny him. So Shawn Michaels says, I got to take something from you that's important to you. So therefore, I'm now important to you. And once he did that, it was on. Oh, yeah, Shawn. Yeah. I'm about to end you, boy. I'm about to end you, boy. And that's exactly how the Undertaker was telling him. And that's what we got, man. Which one was better? I think the first match was better, but the second match was just as good because, like I said, it was no count out, no DQ. So they kind of just went at each other, and it was a little bit. It was just as good. And I felt Shawn Michaels could wrestle another 2 years, but that's the match that I remember. That's the best match.
Next one we got, man. It wasn't the best match because it didn't last long at all. You got on the pre-show, you got the United States title match. You got Sheamus defeating Daniel Bryan in a record amount of time. But the reason I'm gonna say that gets probably moment of the night is because what would end up leading to be Daniel Bryan on the trajectory to have a Hall of Fame career after that because of what got sparked out of this moment, which was the Yes movement. But we'll talk about that on another show. So you got that. You got the World Heavyweight Championship. You got Edge and that boy Alberto Del Rio going at it, man. Pretty good match. And then, of course, you got a no DQ match for the WWE Championship. You got the Miz beating John Cena. Of course, you got the Rock interfering, and that would eventually lead to the Rock and Cena, some time later. But Tuco, not an overly impressive card. But you did have the World Heavyweight Championship, like I said, with Edge and Del Rio. You had the no DQ with the Miz and Cena. I'm going to say match of the night goes to Edge and Del Rio, but the moment of the night, because of what it led to for the next 2, 3 WrestleManias, I believe, it's got to go to Miz and Cena. What are your thoughts?
You missed a very important match, and honestly, I feel this match
Oh my god!
This match, no,
Oh my god!
No, sir, you already messed up, sir. No, you already messed up, sir. But no, I feel this match. Now, again, it could be a little biased, but at the same time, when you're looking at this card and run, this is 11, so it wasn't like Great Khali. I mean, Edge and Del Rio. Let's be honest, that match was okay. What we didn't know was Edge was retiring on that very next Raw, so that kind of sucked. Cody Rhodes was cool, but he was becoming the dashing Cody Rhodes at this point in time. That 4-man against the Shield or the Core, whatever, that was garbage. Orton versus Punk was cool. That was a good match. It was cool. I wouldn't call it the best. Michael Cole, that was what it was. Snooki and Trish Stratus, well, that led to John Morrison getting fired. So and the triple and the Miz versus John Cena.
Yeah.
Yeah, what happened at the end had significance, but if I gotta go something, man. I gotta no. I'm giving it to the Undertaker. Undertaker and Triple H. At this point in time, it was more about Triple H being upset because he retired his friend and he wanted to end the streak. The Taker, instead of giving Taker a title shot, he wanted to end Taker's streak. So and Triple H was still relatively wrestling at this point. Like he wasn't wrestling a lot, but he was wrestling enough. So it was cool. I felt that was the more interesting match because that led to something until next year, which we'll probably end up saying again. But I don't feel like none of the other matches were really up to par to that one.
All right, too cold. So I'm looking at this right now. We got, whew, Jesus. All right, we still got fifth. Let me see. Hold on, my math is off. We have
Like 10, yeah,
nine more
10 more.
manias. 10 more manias. Yeah, see, there we go. That Cleveland Public. We got 10
Hey,
more
right,
manias, man. So we're gonna try to stick to the script, but these are getting interesting, even more. All right,
right.
so now we got WrestleMania, Sun Life Stadium, Miami, Florida. You got Daniel Bryan. He ended up losing to Sheamus, the World Heavyweight Championship. Then you got the WWE Championship. CM Punk versus Chris Jericho. This match, the WWE Championship, can change hands via DQ. And then you got The Rock, Cena 1. This is Bill, the match of the lifetime. Once and forever, blah, 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 blah. I wish that was a fucking lie. But and then of course you got Big Show winning the IC championship from Cody Rhodes. But other than that, and then you got the Hell in the Cell with Shawn Michaels as a
I was
special
about to
guest
say, yeah, I'm
referee.
about to say,
You
you
got
better say it
no, no,
like, yeah, you better fix
no,
yourself, boy, because I'm about to say,
I wasn't gonna miss this one because this to me is my match and moment of the night. You got the Hell in the Cell with Shawn Michaels as a special guest ref. You got Undertaker and Triple H, all three legends, three of the cornerstones of the Attitude Era, the
the
end of an
last of
era.
the
Yeah,
last of
yeah,
the
yeah,
Attitude
yeah.
Era.
So the last of it, the cornerstones of it, and the end of it. Bro, what did you think of this card? Like I said, you got Rock versus Cena, first time ever, two huge icons. They were back and forth with. I thoroughly enjoyed the lead up to that, but to me, nothing was more important. I'm sorry, nothing was more important than Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, and Triple H because those three men have, and I love Cena, but those three men have meant so much to not even just WWE, but just to the wrestling and what they did to the mainstream appeal of it. What are your thoughts, man?
Um, that is both. That both of these are what I'm going to say is the best of this WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
You had the end of an era, and that was a huge moment for people like me who grew up in that era and watched these people become in as a full head of mullet hair for Shawn Michaels, wearing some damn yellow tassels with Marty Jannetty coming down and flipping over the ropes. Undertaker that looked at just, my God, just looked at dead, awful, dead, just whatever. Triple H just being a bloodsman, blue blood. He's been so regal and just, I'm Hunter Hearst Helmsley, and then to see them all transition to what they transitioned to, um, for me, huge moment, because that was the end of the Attitude Era. Though, if anybody had such an impact outside of Austin and Rock, it was most definitely Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker, and Triple H. But you can't disregard what John Cena and The Rock have been for years.
Right,
You
right.
you gotta put that in context. And then once it got to the point where it's like The Rock is like, all right, you gonna keep talking trash. Nah, I really got to say something. And all right, you want me to say something. And then once he said something, it was on. So all we needed was a match. And we got the match. And the first match was better than the second match. It wasn't great, but it was better. The moment, the impact of just what was going on between them two and what everybody wanted to see. And we got to see the Rock back. We got to see the Rock come out and just be the Rock, dude. That's a win in itself, dude. I'm sorry. That just and he had been gone for a long time. You know, he really hadn't been back, not like he was for that moment. But man, for me, it's both. It's that Hell in a Cell match, and it's John Cena versus the Rock.
All right. Next up, man. Next up, we got this one. All right. So I'm looking at this. We got World Heavyweight Championship. We got Alberto Del Rio beating Jack Swagger. You got Undertaker beating CM Punk, which that was a hell of a story leading up to that. You got a career-threatening no-holds-barred match. You got Triple H and Brock Lesnar. And then, of course, you got the WWE Championship match again. Running back, John Cena, the franchise versus the People's Champ, The Rock, to win the title back from Rocky. Bro, now this may cause a little controversy, but I am going to say the moment of the night for me wasn't Triple H being Brock Lesnar. It wasn't John Cena being The Rock. I'm going to say the moment of the night to me was Fandango being Chris Jericho. Now, notice I said moment of the night and not match of the night. You had a debuting Fandango, a debuting fucking Fandango, and you just beat Chris Jericho, the man that beat Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock in the same damn night. Now, granted, it didn't really go nowhere after that, but think about, dude, you had people at hockey games, basketball games, soccer games, bro. Fandango was a fucking wave for the next 6 months. So I can't discredit the impact that had. Now, was it the greatest thing you wanted to see? No. But, dude, come on, man. Nobody's going to walk into WrestleMania and beat Chris Jericho. And if you did not even have a match on the main roster and beat Chris Jericho, I got to give you moment of the night. Now, as far as match of the night, that's difficult. That's difficult. John Cena beating The Rock was cool, but I got to say Triple H and Brock Lesnar. That's got to be my match of the night.
Triple H versus Brock Lesnar.
It's got to be my match.
Undertaker and CM Punk was awesome. I don't know what the hell you was watching.
That's your match of the night?
All right, man. Look, honestly, I mean, if it's my match of the night, yes. My match of the night, my match of the night, yes, that's my match of the night because that was the best match. First of all, John Cena and The Rock, I just said, dude, the first match was better than the second match. Yeah. And they would think it was a foregone conclusion. And let's be honest, I don't think nobody really cared about this match because The Rock, they had just took the belt off CM Punk. So I don't think nobody really even gave a damn about this match. It was kind of foregone conclusion. John Cena was going to win and beat him. And get the championship.
You're right, because people, and by people, I am people, were pissed because you took it off CM Punk just to put it on Rock, just to give Cena something to do. So that, okay,
and where the argument was, and this is where I felt Punk, why not just build it to a triple threat match? This dude was your longest reigning champion. Yeah. You could have just made it a triple threat match, which would have hidden the deficiencies of this match, because that's come on, man, you're asking a dude that hasn't wrestled in years to wrestle another dude that really is only a worker but ain't a great wrestler. You needed a CM Punk, like you needed Daniel Bryan for Edge versus Roman Reigns. You needed that buffer. CM Punk would have been that buffer for this match, because that would have been people wanting him to win, and then it comes out to be John Cena. But you wanted to give The Rock another title win. All right, okay. And unfortunately, that came at the hand. The only way you can get the title is beating CM Punk. So that had to come from him. But no, man. That to me, that wasn't. It wasn't impactful. Hell, John Cena losing and looking lost and dumb on the aisle the year before that was impactful, because it was just like, yeah, dude, you talked all that shit and you got your ass whooped by that movie star. Like, that was impactful. Him winning was just, and then The Rock, giving him his due, raising his hand, bow. And they're like, it to me, it was like, yeah, he beat him, he got the respect, but at the same time, the fans ain't really giving it to you like that. So for me, the best match was Undertaker and Punk. I'll give you Fandango for him winning and the crowd going bananas, because the crowd did go crazy. Like he had that WrestleMania crowd. Like as soon as this song come on, you just see everybody in the crowd, everybody in the crowd is doing this. So I'll give him the moment. Sure, I'll give him the moment for that. I didn't see that one coming. I give you kudos for that one. But yeah, man, I Triple H and Brock Lesnar. I wasn't really. It was what it was.
All right, Tuco. Let's get this in. I'm gonna do something a
We
little
almost done.
different.
We almost
I'm
done.
gonna do
What's up?
something a little different. I'm gonna name the noteworthy matches. You tell me what's your top match, what's your top moment. So this next one we got, if Daniel Bryan wins, if he beats Triple H, he goes on to the main event.
Bruh. You could just stop right there. It's Bryan winning the World Heavyweight Championship, man. It's him beating Batista and Randy
Over the
Orton. That
streak,
is that
over Brock Lesnar accidentally ending the streak.
it's Brock Lesnar winning is the biggest moment. The best match goes to that match right there. Like you ain't like it's very simple for this WrestleMania 30 for this. It's very simple. Bryan Danielson beating Triple H. First of all, the Occupy Raw.
Yeah,
That's what that was what set it off. To beat Triple H and then to beat Batista and Randy Orton and to win the World Heavyweight and the crowd to be bananas for it. Like Brock Lesnar was the biggest moment because it took people a long time to really believe he had just beaten the Undertaker.
yeah.
Like so the moment, because it's still talked about now, it's the moment. So I'll give it the moment. The match wasn't really that great because, like I said, you kind of seen Undertaker had a concussion or something because he was just out of it, or he was just too committed to selling for Brock. I don't know, but it didn't want a great match, so I can't give it that. But hands down, Daniel Bryan beating Orton and Batista. Best match moment. Brock Lesnar beating the Undertaker in the street. Shit.
Next up, man, we got Randy beating Seth Rollins. We got the Undertaker beating Bray Wyatt, and then we got Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. But who wins the match? Neither one of them motherfuckers, because we got that boy with the heist of the century, the architect, Seth freaking Rollins, running down the ramp, doing this 1-2, and he becomes not only the new Mr. Money in the Bank cash in, but also your new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Too cold. What you got, man? Talk to me.
I'm gonna be 100 with you on this.
And he got John Cena versus Rusev for the United States Championship, which was a really good match.
That was trash because Cena shouldn't have won. I didn't care for Undertaker versus Bray because I was mad of last year. I did not care. Like beating Bray again. You lost to Brock. Why not lose again? Have a losing streak. And then win another one. Win your last one to and then ride off. You could have that weak ass John Cena match that we got. That could have been your one win to end your losing streak because you won for so long. You could have had a little losing streak against a couple of guys that helped build them up because I always said Bray Wyatt was the second coming of the Undertaker. So I was that one that really just. Yeah, but at that point, the Undertaker was at the decline of what we were getting used to from seeing him from past years. I think all the matches between the 4 matches between Shawn Michaels and Triple H, that took up whatever the Undertaker had left to continue to push some of these newer guys. And we got the tail end of the Undertaker at this point. So it was, that was what it was. As far as the match wasn't great, but if I got to go with something, I'm going with the moment. Seth Rollins cashing in and winning the belt. Like that's it. That for this WrestleMania, man, that's it. There ain't really nothing else on here that was it Daniel Bryan coming back and winning the Intercontinental. Like that was cool. I guess you can count that as a moment too because he had injury. He had to give up the championship, so they weren't even sure if he was coming back. And then for him to come back and win the Intercontinental Championship, but he didn't stay long after that either. But I'll just go with Seth cashing in the Money in the Bank.
All right, next up, man. So we got Zack Ryder winning the Intercontinental next WrestleMania 32, AT&T Stadium. We got Zack Ryder winning the IC Championship in the ladder match. You got Chris Jericho beating the debuting AJ Styles as far as his WrestleMania is concerned. You got Undertaker versus Shane McMahon, and then of course you got Roman Reigns defeating Triple H. Tuco, man, what's your match of the night? What's your moment?
Yeah, this one was kind of hard. Zack Ryder was the moment.
I'm glad you said that one.
He was the moment. If I gotta say a match, what in the hell in itself? Shane and Undertaker wasn't it. Baron Corbin, no. The Rock beating Eric, no. Roman Reigns and Triple H, no, because I don't think nobody cared at this WrestleMania. This is when he lost it at the Royal Rumble and Triple H. Yeah, no one cared because everyone felt that was stupid. Like, and I felt it was stupid. It didn't do nothing for me. It didn't do anything for anybody. So I'm not even gonna give it that due. So if I gotta pick a match, I'll give the moment to Zack Ryder. I'll give the match to Jericho and Styles.
Okay. All right, next WrestleMania, man. 33. We at Camping World Stadium, Orlando, Florida. You got AJ Styles defeating Shane McMahon. You got Kevin Owens defeating Chris Jericho. This is right after the heels of the Festival of Friendship. You got the Raw Women's Championship, Bayley defeating Charlotte Flair, Nia Jackson, Sasha Banks. And then let's see. You got Randy defeating Bray Wyatt. You got Seth defeating Triple H. You got a no holds bar between Roman Reigns and The Undertaker. And then you got a Universal Championship match between Brock Lesnar and Goldberg. Bro, I'm going to be honest with you. The way they did it, and I'm looking back on it, I feel like Roman Reigns should have been the one to defeat The Undertaker, but the first time, not Brock Lesnar. But I got to say, man, if I got to go match of the night, my match of the night would definitely be Kevin Owens versus Chris Jericho. What is your match and what is your moment?
Kevin Owens versus Chris Jericho. I mean, that's not bad to go with. I'm not gonna lie. Best moment was the Hardy Boys returning.
I forgot that
because nobody, because that was when they were on their championship run, going through all the different companies. They were winning the tag team belts, and they had just showed up at WrestleMania after they had just won. I think it was the ROH or the NWA. They had just won some tag team belts, and lost them back or whatever. And then they all right, we out, y'all. We going to WWE, and they came back and they had won the Raw Tag Team Championships at WrestleMania. For just to see them return, because you didn't think you were going to see them return, especially with the new gimmick of Matt Hardy, the leader, the deletion. So, and yeah, they killed that. WWE Vince, he tried to let them do it, but it got over. But it got over with the people that knew it. Unfortunately, if you weren't watching TNA and you wasn't keeping up with Matt Hardy, you didn't know what you were watching, and that was the sad part. But those were the casual fans. So I'll give that the moment. I hated Randy Orton beating Bray Wyatt. Brock Lesnar beating Goldberg didn't really matter to me. Like, it was what it was. The Hardy Boys. I'm being honest, man. Okay, if I gotta pick one, I guess Seth Rollins beating Triple H. I guess. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm stuck on this one. I'm not even going front because That Roman Reigns Undertaker match was terrible. To me, it was
Yeah.
just terrible. Yeah, it was terrible. Uh, Mickey James, Natalia, yeah. SmackDown Women's Champ. I'm sorry, the SmackDown Women's Championship. Naomi. When Naomi won, that was cool. That was actually a pretty good match. But, uh, yeah, yeah, man, I can't really definitively say what was a great match. Maybe you know what, the Raw. No, I, I'll just have to go with the Raw Tag Team Championship. That was the moment in match for me. You can debate and say it was something else. I wish somebody would say something else, but yeah, that's all I got, man.
All right, man. Next WrestleMania 34, you got the Intercontinental Championship. You got Seth Rollins defeating The Miz and Finn Balor. You got the SmackDown Women's Championship. You got Charlotte defeating Asuka to retain the title. You got, let's see, you got the Undertaker defeating John Cena. And then you got Nia Jax defeating Alexa Bliss for the Raw Women's Championship. AJ Styles defeating Shinsuke Nakamura to retain the WWE Championship. And then you got Brock Lesnar defeating Roman Reigns to retain the WWE Universal Championship. This is also where you had the mixed tag Kurt Angle, Ronda Rousey versus Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. Uh, I gotta say, to me,
Dude,
good God
Intercontinental.
Almighty, yeah, I was about to say
Intercontinental.
it's got to be Intercontinental, and honestly, yeah, dude, that's got to be match and moment.
I
Well,
mean,
see,
the moment was watching Ronda Rousey break the arm or supposedly break the arm of Stephanie. Like that was
yeah,
just
yeah.
like people was going like just listening to Stephanie beg, please, I'm sorry, please, no, I'm sorry. Somebody help me, somebody help me. Like just listening to her scream and beg, and Ronda just take that arm and just yank back, and then everybody just going kind of banana. I'll say moment because the match was crap because Ronda, wasn't that great in the ring, and Kurt, we all saw what Kurt was, and he wasn't the Olympic hero. He was a retired guy, but but as far as match, I got to go Intercontinental. That was probably the best match. Just on really just on Seth Rollins and Finn Balor. Miz was just a buffer. He was just a buffer to really make everything else flow really good with between these two and what they did, man. So uh I would go there. I would say the Bludgeon Brothers, but they mollywopped the hell out of the Usos and New Day. So I don't want to. Oh no, wait a minute. I'm on the right one. No, I'm on the right one. Yeah, so I can't really go that one, but yeah, man, yeah, Intercontinental for me.
Next up, WrestleMania 35, MetLife Stadium. All right, so we got Seth Rollins defeating Brock Lesnar to win the WWE Universal Championship. We got AJ Styles defeating Randy Orton. Of course, then after this, we got a Falls Count Anywhere, Shane McMahon and The Miz. We have Kofi Kingston defeating Daniel Bryan to win the WWE Championship. We got Samoa Joe defeating Rey Mysterio to retain the IC title. We got Roman Reigns defeating Drew McIntyre. You got Triple H and Batista, man. This is Batista's, retirement, his official retirement.
Give me what I want. Give me what I want.
In
Give
the
me
No
what I
Holds
want.
Bar match, you got Baron Corbin defeating Kurt Angle. You got the Demon Finn Balor defeating Bobby Lashley. And then, of course, you got the winner take all match. You got Becky Big Time Bex versus Ronda Rousey for the Raw Women's Championship as she ended up beating Ronda and Charlotte Flair with both titles on the line. Too cold. A lot going on in this one. A lot.
Yeah,
Thoughts, man.
yeah.
Moment, match. Talk to me.
Uh, don't know what the hell Vince was thinking about putting this many goddamn matches on the WrestleMania card.
God. I
But
think this
let's
ain't
just
this the one that went to like 1 o'clock in the morning, damn near.
yeah, and people were pissed off because the trains and shit had stopped running.
Yeah,
Uh,
ain't that a bitch?
um,
Imagine if you was like from out of town or overseas and you went to that motherfucker, you got stuck.
bruh, who you telling? All right, bro. So look, if I gotta go match wise, it's kind of hard for me, man, because I really wasn't really that okay. If I gotta go to match, I'm gonna go to women's match.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say the women's match that was that was the best match.
Okay.
Moment, Kofi Kingston winning the WWE Championship against
Absolutely. Kofi Mania.
Daniel
Yeah.
Bryan.
Yeah.
Yeah, that the moment was seeing Kofi finally get that opportunity to be WWE champion and to be a Grand Slam champion. He's won all the other titles. He's been a fan favorite, regardless of if you think he should or should not. Man, sometimes you can't deny when a guy is just so over that people just genuinely love when he's out there. People love to watch him. They love to see him. They love his energy. And we understood that's what the New Day is. But Kofi was that before the New Day. Like I would say the New Day is really just based off of Kofi. And it just added more to the other guys because that's always kind of been him. So to see him have that moment, and again, that build up and some real honest truth in America that we got, but that for me, without a doubt, moment most definitely Kofi Kingston match. I'm gonna give it to the women because
All right.
that main event had me watching. It was a little botchy, don't get me wrong, but that main event had me watching it.
Next up, another one, man. Another one. Got some decent matches on the card. We got WrestleMania 36, and of course, this was the COVID WrestleMania as we got it live in the
Man,
Performance Center. It was hard to watch. It was very hard to watch, but they did what they had to do. And this one, man. You got Becky Lynch defeating Shayna Baszler to retain the Raw Women's Championship. You got Sami Zayn defeating Daniel Bryan to retain the IC title. You got a ladder match, which was actually I really enjoyed this match, all things considered. You got you had a triple threat match with one half of each tag team going at it for the tag team championship. It was something different, but I like that. You had Morrison. He ended up winning. He was representing Miz and Morrison. He defeated Kofi Kingston representing New Day, and of course Jimmy Uso representing the Usos. I felt like that was a pretty good match. You had Kevin Owens defeating Seth Rollins in a no DQ match. You got Braun Strowman defeating Goldberg, yeah. And then you got the Boneyard match for night one with Styles taking a loss to the Dead Man. Bro, before I get to night two, what are your thoughts on night one, man?
all right, yeah. So now that WrestleMania is 2 nights, we're just gonna give the best match for night one and night two. Unless there's a match that's just overall was just a better match regardless of which night. Because
You talk, bro. You talk.
I felt in night one, yeah, that triple threat ladder match for the SmackDown, when they made it just a singles match, I'm not gonna lie, that match stole it for me. That was the match that I didn't know it was gonna be that good, but to see those three, and John Morrison had literally just got there, and he was already in sync with everybody, and they worked the hell out of that match. We know what the Usos and the New Day can do. We already know what their history is and what they can do in the ring. So to see John Morrison, who's not no stranger to the Intercontinental Championship, or I'm sorry, the Tag Team Championship, but that was a really great match, and it was a match I didn't think I was gonna like that match as much as I did, but it was exciting, it was good. But if I gotta go moment, I mean, Intercontinental Champion, I mean, Sami Zayn, he defeated Daniel Bryan. I mean, that was a really good match. I mean, I like those two in the ring, but
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins, I gotta give that some love because that was kind of crazy because it started off as a good match, and then Kevin Owens won, and Seth wanted a rematch. So then they decided to fight again, and then you just watch Kevin Owens just jump off the WrestleMania sign onto a table on Seth Rollins. Like, so it's like you started on the inside, then you just made it whatever, and yeah, man, that was crazy. That was crazy. It was I gotta give that some mention because, like I said, this was the COVID era. No one cared about the Brock Lesnar. I'm sorry, the Braun Strowman beating Goldberg because it was technically supposed to be Roman Reigns.
Right.
Everyone knows this was it. So it, yeah, there was like you're just doing it just to do it, which is a shame because you put the championship on Braun Strowman not when people felt you should have. You put it on him because you had no other choice. It was a last resort. It was like we can't get the guy we need. So Braun, you're here. Go be Universal Champion. And it's like it just never got anywhere for him. The Boneyard match, not gonna lie, it was everything that you think it was. Was it goofy? Was it over the top? Yes, it was, and it was great. It was awesome. So if I gotta pick one, I would say it's the triple threat ladder match. But Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens and Undertaker at the Boneyard match, it was a yeah. You can't help but mention those. The Boneyard match, you can't help but remember that one.
All right, then part 2 of this WWE WrestleMania 36, we got oh my God, we another case of the Flair. We got NXT Women's Championship match. We got Charlotte Flair defeating Rhea Ripley
Man.
to become the NXT Women's Champion. Still don't understand that one at all. You got a Last Man Standing, which was supposedly the greatest wrestling match ever between Edge and Randy Orton. You got a SmackDown Women's Championship elimination match. You got Bayley defeating Lacey Evans, Sasha Banks, Naomi, and Tamina to retain the title. Then you got a Firefly Funhouse match, another creative match between the Fiend Bray Wyatt and John Cena. And you talk about uncomfortable truths with Kofi. Yeah, we definitely addressed a lot in this. And then we got the WWE Championship. We got that boy, man, 19 years too cold. Drew McIntyre defeating Brock Lesnar to become your WWE champion. Talk to the people.
The Firefly Funhouse was amazing. It was amazing. I loved it. Of night 2 of WrestleMania, I definitely remember that. Like you like the whole just the John Cena and just warped his mind and the way not only that but John going with it and it working out the way that it did. This was the way we wanted to see Bray get put over years before, but why we never could get it. Mm-hmm. It's like, man, why couldn't you have done this in front of a live crowd when you had the opportunity? And so I definitely have to give this match, whatever you want to call it, I definitely have to give it his props. Drew beating Brock was awesome. The match was short, wasn't long. This was not a long match at all. So I guess the moment is a tie, or I don't know how you want. I don't know how you want to say this one, man. But you definitely remember Drew beating Brock Lesnar because we wanted to see it. We got one of the honestly, to me, it was the only title match I cared for. I didn't care for Roman Reigns beating Goldberg. That had no impact on me whatsoever. Because I knew Roman was going to beat Goldberg, so it is what it is. But Drew, after what he did at the Royal Rumble, in front of that live crowd and eliminating Brock Lesnar, no doubt, man. Seeing Drew win, that was awesome. That was pretty much it, man. There really wasn't nothing else on this card that was like all eye popping to me. The Firefly Funhouse and really just Drew McIntyre winning.
All right, Too Cold, man. We get into our last one, WrestleMania 37. So you got the first match back in front of a live crowd during the COVID era. You got Bobby Lashley defeating Drew McIntyre via submission to retain the WWE Championship. You got Cesaro defeating Seth Rollins. You got AJ Styles almost defeating the New Day for the Raw Tag Team Championships. You got Bad Bunny and Damian Priest, which is a surprisingly decent match against The Miz and Morrison. And then, of course, you got the history-making moment. The first time ever 2 African-American females stepped into the ring for the championship for the main event at WrestleMania. You got Bianca Belair making history with Sasha Banks. That even won the ESPY. Too Cold, man. Night 1. What is your match and moment of the night?
My match, and don't get me wrong, you did mention Cesaro and Seth Rollins, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's my first match, and it's tied with Bad Bunny. Mm-hmm. Because Bad Bunny showed out, and nobody thought Bad Bunny was going to show up to do what he did. And you got to give that dude credit because he was amazing for a guy that doesn't wrestle. So he showed up and showed out. Those are the 2 matches. The moment, of course, Bianca and Sasha, and Bianca winning the SmackDown Women's Championship. finally seeing them push one of the few NXT call ups that they bring up, and actually pushing them and letting them be who they are. Like I'm just gonna be honest, man. Bianca probably could have had a different character at that point, but they stuck to who she was, and they
Right.
didn't change her. So it's like you know we crap on WWE when they do that to others, but we got to give them credit when they let certain ones like Rhea Ripley. She's still herself, but they just got her locked up in tag teams. But to see Bianca just still be who she was and always is, and then to win the SmackDown, like that was a great moment. But it was a good match too. You could throw that in there too. But uh, yeah, Cesaro, just seeing Cesaro and Seth Rollins just put on the show, and then that spin on his shoulders with no hands, like bruh, like like that was Cesaro always just seems to amaze you on how good he really is in the ring. So to see him display that on WrestleMania, like that was really awesome, and it was Seth Rollins, so they put on a great match. It just sucked that you couldn't see that more often.
Yeah.
So with that, and then of course, like I say, Bad Bunny, man, got to give the man credit, man. That's what I definitely remember at night two.
All right, man. Last part.
Or night
Night
one, I'm
two.
sorry.
We got a triple threat match for the Universal Championship. You got Daniel Bryan versus Edge and Roman Reigns. You got the Fiend
That's
versus
the
Randy
match.
Orton. You got the Raw Women's Championship, Rhea Ripley versus Asuka. You got the United States Championship, Riddle versus Sheamus. I'm not even going to talk about that Nigerian drum fight. Fuck it. And then you got Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn, best friends turned enemies once again. Too cold,
For the
man.
50th minute time.
What is your match and what is your moment?
Uh, the worst moment was Randy Orton versus the Fiend.
Yep.
The best match was Edge, Daniel Bryan, and Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Moment. Yeah, there really wasn't a moment for me. That it was just really just it was the triple threat match. That was he smashed him, he stacked him, he pinned him, he won.
Right.
That's what that was. So for that last one, that's exactly what it was.
All right. Well, too cold, man. We have officially caught up on all the WrestleManias up until this weekend. WrestleMania 38, the most stupendous WrestleMania of all time. Yeah. Okay. All right, man. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, until about maybe another hour or some change when we do our
Oh yeah,
AEW
we coming
Dynamite
back.
review show. Thank you once again for tuning in to another episode of GOW WrestleMania Moments and Matches Part 2. Yeah, man, we'll see y'all in a minute. As always, it's yours truly, the 28-year-old piece of gold. He's too cold, or we'll see you when we see you. Peace.